Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Opinion Piece, the show where I give my unfiltered, unscripted opinions about a gaming-related topic. Today's topic... Now, this was a story that broke over the weekend, so it's still kind of fresh in my mind and is still finding a way to tick me off, so I wanted to talk about it. Way to kick this new thing off. But I'll leave a link to an article so you can get the full details, but let me go over the gist of it. So, infamous hack filmmaker Uwe... I'm not going to bother... I'm not going to bother. Uwe Boll is apparently considering taking legal action against Warner Brothers and their upcoming Rampage movie. Why? Because apparently he believes that it is infringing on a trilogy of movies he made back in 2009 of the same name. And when I first read this, it shocked me beyond belief, because I thought, didn't this guy fall off the face of the earth? Wasn't there like a thing a couple of years ago where people got wise and realized just what a freaking hack he was, and just stopped giving him the time of day? I mean, just because that's what I honestly thought for the longest time, and maybe that's still the case, but this apparently was, I guess, a big enough deal to make waves. But the fact that he's doing this is surprising but humorous. The biggest reason is, did anyone, because clearly he didn't see it, but did anyone attempt to mention to him, anybody that knew the man closely, if anyone even does know him closely, did anyone attempt to reach out to him and explain to him that this big budget blockbuster film is an adaptation of a video game franchise? A franchise that a brand that has existed since the 80s, so a few decades before before the movies of the same name even existed. So the fact that he's claiming that this big budget movie is infringing on his property is not only backwards, but it's completely wrong. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not infringing on anything. If anything, his movies would be infringing on this existing property, since his came afterwards. Again, if it's under the assumption that he honestly did not know that this was based on a video game franchise, but considering his reputation for making video game movies, I get the distinct impression that he knows, but he's deliberately ignoring that for the sake of his argument. But the other big thing here is his movies and this upcoming film have no correlation with each other. Rampage, by Warner Brothers, is basically a big dumb monster movie based on a video game. It's about Dwayne Johnson fighting giant monsters. Uwe Boll's Rampage movies were about a guy going on a rampage. I honestly didn't bother to look into the details. I just kind of took it at face value, and so correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. So there's absolutely nothing similar about them. Now, I could understand making the argument if there were similarities between the two, but since there isn't, there's nothing here. And it's ridiculous that he's doing this. It's ridiculous that he's doing this. I almost get the impression that he's doing this for attention, because that's what it feels like. A couple of years ago, as I mentioned earlier, the world, or whatever percentage of the world even cared, stopped giving a shit about him. And we just thought, oh, he's going to retire, he's going to fall off the face of the earth. I keep stuttering for some reason. And he's going to stop tainting the wonderful image of film. Apparently that isn't the case. That never really was the case. Apparently he's still making movies for some dumb reason. Got to exploit those tax incentives, I guess. But yeah, I get the impression that he's doing this purely for attention and seeing how much he can get away with, even though I don't think he's going to get away with any of this. There's absolutely nothing to fight for. There's no correlation between any of this stuff. It's completely separate stuff that shares the same name. And that's another thing to mention, is products or properties and whatnot have similar names often. You can find movies and video games or anything across multiple medias that have similar, if not exact, names, but are completely different in subject matter and context. I've seen it in a couple different instances, and it's fine. It works as long as it's established that these two things that have a similar name are two completely different things. And in this case, it is. So for him to make the argument that it is infringing on his property, that it is tarnishing his brand, is complete nonsense. It's complete bullshit. There's absolutely no damage being done. He's just getting pissy because, Warner Brothers is doing a big budget movie with a similar name as a movie that I made. And that makes me sad because because in his statement he said like, it's like the big guys are making the money and he's trying to be all poetic and act like he's standing up for small filmmakers when he's absolutely not. He's only, thinking about himself. And the whole thing just astonishes me. It just blows my mind what he's doing, and it's remarkable, but it's also just freaking ridiculous. And I'm almost 100% certain that it's gonna get thrown out. I mean, at the current time of recording, after the story broke over the weekend, it's still just him contemplating and considering taking legal action against Warner Brothers. I don't think he's going to. I think he's literally making a press, like, just doing all this publicity-based crap just to get attention, just to get his name out there again, just to get people to acknowledge his presence. And it's either going to get completely dropped, or even if it does go to court, if it does go through, it's going to get thrown out like Lindsay Lohan's case against Rockstar Games in the whole Grand Theft Auto 5 controversy that only recently got thrown out of the Court of Appeals after 4 fucking years. So, yeah, what else needs to be said here? Other than Uwe Boll is a hack filmmaker and he needs to quit trying. That seems kind of harsh, but if you've seen the crap that this guy's done, he just needs to give up and let his ego stop doing the talking. But then again, this is the guy that fights critics over reviews of his movies and just doesn't take bullshit from anybody. And so, yeah, I guess it's really anybody's guess to see what happens. It's freaking ridiculous. It's just freaking ridiculous. Okay, that's pretty much my thoughts on that whole controversy. Do you, the wonderful people in the audience, have any thoughts about this? Feel free to share them, and let's discuss this, even though there's not really anything to discuss. Do any of you even know who I'm talking about? Or is this the first time you've heard of this, of the infamous Uwe Boll? Also, please let me know that as well. But anyways, thanks for watching, and take care.